Let's try and set up so we can dispatch our actions here, so we can actually get the user. Now I'm going to use this one here, Firebase, because that's what they recommend. So the recommended way is to get the user by setting an observer on the user authenticated object. So we're going to use this in our script. And I've decided I want to put the users logged in. I want this to be on top of the navigation bar. So if you're logged in, show me this. If you're not logged in, then just have it like it is right now. Cool. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use navigation.view over here. And I'm just going to do a different thing. So it'll be just after the opening script tag here, we're going to do a different thing. So first thing, we need to import Firebase, as we're going to use that, of course. And so let's do import Firebase we can copy this from some of the other places if you want to. So import Firebase from Firebase, and we also want to import Firestore we don't actually have to do it this way, we can just do this, Firebase / Firestore, like this. You can copy this from your admin page, I think. Another thing we want to import is the store, because we actually need to use some of the things, because that's where we have our getters and setters and everything. So import store from and then store.js. Now is this correct? So go one out, and that should be the store file we are accessing. So let's do a quick save, see if we get an error. So let's do a quick save to see if we get an error. Save. So it still looks all right. That's our scroll behavior. Oh, whatever. I forgot to remove that in the previous video. But now we have imported the three things we want to use. Now, I want to set this up here, because that's where we want to use it. So I want to grab the information about the user, and I'm only going to show it in the navigation. So I'm just going to set it in here. So I'm pasting this in. Firebase.auth, and then on auth state changes, function user, blah, 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 all these things. So what we want to do is we want to use the dispatch. Where is it going? Where is it going? Down here. So we want to use store.dispatch and then call the action we created. I think that's called set users, if I recall, and then the payload. And this, in our case, that's the user we want to actually work with here. So instead of having this text here, we're going to call the store, and then we're going to use the dispatch. It's already trying to help me out. And in this one, it's called set users, and just make sure. So we can go to the store, and it says set users. So copy this if you want to be sure. So now we are grabbing that one, and then the payload was the user. Already setting a user here. We're going to copy this for the else statement, because we need to do almost the same thing. But if it's not logged in, then we're setting this to null. So that's the two different things we need to do. So that's kind of setting up the basics of this one. Now let's try and go up to the top here just before my URL. I'm just going to do a quick H4, and then I'm going to do my interpolation here, and then I'm going to type in current user. So let's see if this works. And if not, then I made an error somewhere, and we'll fix that one. And I made an error somewhere, so we need to fix that one. That is because we haven't actually done the computed. We haven't actually grabbed the user yet. Right now we just have Firebase, and then we're trying to print up what we haven't done. Haven't done the computed version yet. Cough. But after our data here, we're going to set up the computed one. So if it looks like this, remember to have your comma separation, and let's do the computed part here. So in this one, we're going to call this current user, because that's the one we have up in our here. So it's going to attach itself to this. And in this one, we need to do first of all, our parentheses, and then our curly brackets. And then this one, we're going to return, and we're going to enter it into the store. So this $store, and then we have the getters in there, and that was called get current user. So we can just check them in here. And wherever you go, getter. Where did that getter go? Getter. We haven't created the getter yet, so that's the next one. We need to create the getter for the user here, of course, because right now we're trying to do something that's not really there yet. So we need to set that up as well. So after the get basket, do a comma separation, and let's call this current user, since that's the one we named in there. In my mind, I already created it, but I forgot apparently. we're going to do the same, similar as the one before. So get basket item and going to the state, that's the argument, the parameter here. And then we're grabbing the state of the current user. So remember, as a start, this is set to null if nobody's logged in. So let's hopefully this doesn't break the system now. Still going nuts over here, so let's check out the error. Alright, so let's see if we can, so Firebase no create blah blah blah. It's weird. And let's go over here again. So we're calling Firebase, we're going that store, and we're not actually connecting to Firebase, so it doesn't have the information about the login. So we need to just, I'm just going to copy this one here from menu.view, or you can just type this in. I'm super lazy. So we need to import all the information from Firebase, so these one down here, so we can actually use these specifics. So let's import those as well and save, and then we should hopefully have our error completed. Awesome. So let's see if this works. So now we have information over here, and there's a ton of information, as you can see. So this is printing out all the information that they're indicating in here that you're getting. So if you have, for example, display name, that's set to 0, my photo URL, there's no images in, but we have an email, so that's my login email. So now we can actually start printing this one out. You can just go through the different things you need, and the more you set up inside your actual database, the more you can actually see in the Firebase backend with the user authentications. So let's just go to the top here, and let's try, instead of having current user, that's printing out all of this, we just want to print out the email, right? So let's just add the .email here, .email. So that's hopefully just showing the name of my user right now. So that's who I'm logged in with right now. So that's great. In the next video, we're going to just remove all the last errors, and then we're going to style this using the avatar component from Vuetify.